The Angels enjoyed a long-awaited off day yesterday in Detroit. Tonight they kick off a very long road trip, three-city trip. It starts here in Detroit, 1st and 3 against the Detroit Tigers. As we welcome you inside Comerica Park and back to Angels Baseball here on Fox Sports West, along with Mark Gubiza. I'm Victor Rojas. And in the last series, of course, that we're trying to forget, we talked a little bit about the MVP race. Mike Trout, Josh Donaldson. When you start playing the Tigers, it's Mike Trout versus Miguel Cabrera, now back and healthy.
Yeah, Victor, Miguel Cabrera, one of the best pure hitters in baseball. You got Mike Trout, the best player in all of baseball. And when these two get together, it's always fun to see what they're able to do. Cabrera's got great power to all fields. Mike Trout, with his power and speed and his ability to use that glove out in center field, makes this a great matchup against the Detroit Tigers here tonight.
Cabrera hitting almost 500 in the month of August since his return off the disabled list. He'll be facing Jared Weaver, and we know with Jared Weaver, especially off the disabled list, the breaking pitch has been very effective for him.
Yeah, Victor, we can talk about velocity all we want, but that doesn't matter. It's the all-speed pitch. Take a look at our tools of the trade, brought to you by Ram Trucks. His curveball command has been very good. His changeup also has been good, even his slider, but it's the curveball that really makes Jared Weaver special. His 3 starts since coming back from the disabled list. He's able to use that changeup. He starts it upstairs around letter high and then drops it down in and below the strike zone. Hitters trying to stay back. We're talking 65 to 68 range on his curveball, and that's why it's been so good.
He'll be going up against Alfredo Simon of the Detroit Tigers. We're just about ready for baseball here in Detroit. Sit back and relax. Going to bring you the lineups and the first pitch when we return. Angels Baseball is brought to you by the Acura It's That Kind of Summer event. By CarMax. Start the search for your next car at CarMax. CarMax, start here. By Jack in the Box. For a limited time, try the new Portobello Mushroom Buttery Jack with melted garlic herb butter. And by your Southern California Toyota dealers. 3-game set against the Detroit Tigers. As we know and has been well documented, the Angels have struggled out on the road, especially over the last month or thereabouts. And you've got a long road trip, and it ends in early September, and that means it's down the stretch they come. So you better start picking up the pace and playing some good baseball.
Boy, just talking to the guys during batting practice, a lot more confident today as far as what they're going to do at the plate, using the entire field, especially against Simon, who has a very good split-finger fastball. Just use the entire field and score some runs early.
Here's what Mike Scioscia's lineup looks like for game number 125. The Halos at 2 games over 500 now at 63 and 61. Calhoun, Trout, and Pujols in the top third. Albert back at first base. David Murphy at left. Eric Ibar short. Cron at DH. Carlos Perez behind the plate. Caleb Coward in the 8-hole at the hot corner. And Grant Green back at second base as they take on the 34-year-old right-handed native of Santiago in the Dominican Republic, Alfredo Simon.
Simon's still a good fastball, 90-95. If there's a cut fastball, curveball, and split finger fastball, and throws a lot of them. And my go-tos, if you see his ERA 4.52, very good. His last game out, prior to that, 3 starts, not so good. Get in the hitters' counts. 2-0 count, 3-1 counts, hitters hitting over 500 against them, and use the entire field. Mentioned that split finger fastball. Throws a lot of them, so you have to use the middle of the field or the other way against them.
Let's take a look at the defense for the Tigers. Collins goes, and Martinez in the outfield from left to right. Castellanos, Iglesias, Romine, and Martinez from third to first. McCann behind the plate.
And J.D. Martinez, we know how well he swings the bat. He's been very solid out in right field. Also, with 14 outfield assists, which is second most amongst right fielders in the majors. Only Garcia with 15. He's had 3 in his last 5 games to overtake J.D. Martinez in that category.
Angels, of course, coming off a series sweep by the Toronto Blue Jays. They've lost 4 consecutive games. At the start of the day, find themselves 5 back and in third place in the West, and a game and a half back of the second wild card spot. Houston is in New York. Texas hosting the Toronto Blue Jays. Tonight's first pitch being delivered by the UPS store. First one from Simon. It is up and away. Cole hitting .270, 19 home runs, 66 runs batted in. 1 for 4 game on Sunday. That's the game in which the Angels scored 5 runs in the first inning, and then R.A. Dickey went into shutdown mode. Angels had a total of 12 hits in that game.
These are one of those counts where hitters have done some damage against Simon. 2-0 counts. 526, that's 10 for 19 with 3 home runs.
Cute foul. 2 balls, 1 strike. Simon 11-7, a 4.52 ERA. First season with Detroit. Acquired in the off-season deal, Cincinnati Reds. Got to the big leagues with the Orioles. Down it in. And a 3-ball, 1 strike count. This is a Tigers team that offensively very good. Pitching wise, it's the exact opposite. They have struggled. Second to last in the American League as far as staff ERA at 4.51. And there's a leadoff walk to start the ballgame.
Good patient at bat by Cole. The Hyundai key for this game for the Angels to be successful. White Snake still tonight. Those quiet, still hands in the approach against Simon. Fastball, they should be able to make good contact. Relatively straight fastball, but it's that split finger fastball. You really have to stay back and use that center of the field against it.
Cole over at first with that leadoff walk, and here's Trout. Mike had a 3-hit game on Sunday, a double and a couple of singles. Drove in a run. Scored a run. 297 average, 33 home runs, 73 runs batted in. 394 on base percentage. Trying to finish up this tough month of August for him on a high note going into September. There's an off-speed pitch for a strike.
When you think about how many split finger fastballs he will throw now during the course of the game, about 36% of his pitches are split finger fastball. Last year, 17% were split finger fastballs. A lot more this year.
1-2.
He's going back to back split finger fastballs.
He's been better against right-handed hitters
than lefties. Lefties all hit him to a 300 batting average. Righties hitting just 218 against him. It's got to be, I would imagine, the effect of the split.
No question.
Time called. Dan Iasonia calling the balls and strikes. C.B. Buckner first. Actually, Dale Scott at first base, C.B. Buckner at second, and Lance Barrett over at third. Iasonia behind the plate. Trout pulls this one toward third, past Castellanos and into left field. A seeing eye single for Mike Trout. And the Angels have their first two on board here to start the game.
Yeah, just putting the ball in play. That's what you've got to try to do against Simon. Especially where he puts some of his pitches, that split finger fastball or even fastball sliders downstairs.
So Albert will bat here with a couple of men on. One for 3 game on Sunday. A couple of double play balls that he hit into. Picked up a sac fly and a 71st RBI. The average of 253.
It's 5 hits in his last 6 at bats for Trout, which is a good sign for not only himself but certainly for the club.
Albert looks at the strike. Halos away from the Big A at 24-34 on the season. Albert went around. An 0-2 count. Been a tough go for Albert with men in scoring position this year. A 208 batting average. Calhoun at second. Leadoff walk for him. Trout at first, a base hit. And that is hammered out to deep left field on an 0-2 count. Gone! A huge big fly for Albert Pujols. 554th of his career. 3-0 Angels.
Boy, did that baseball get out of here quickly. Especially when you're a pitcher, you've worked to get to that 0-2 count, and you throw a pitch pretty much down the heart of the plate, just above the knees, and Albert made him pay for it. 34th home run, now giving him 74 RBI, leading the team in home runs and RBI now with that swing. The heater, he went with a fastball right down the heart of the plate. Have a chance to expand his zone, did not do so, and Albert expanded that baseball and crushed it out of the ballpark.
Especially after seeing the tentative swing on the previous pitch, Gooby. On that off-speed,
exactly.
A little splitter.
Why would you not bounce something? It's the 4th home run in the last 5 games for Albert against the Tigers.
A gift, and Albert capitalized on it. Here's Murphy. 1 ball, 1 strike on David.
There's a reason why he has a lot of those career home runs.
Yeah.
When you think about a pitcher has you in position to get you out instead of throwing something out of the strike zone.
Murphy shoots into the alley in right center field. That'll get down for a base hit. Goes, cuts it off, and it's a double for Murphy.
And Murphy now 5 for 12 in his career versus Simon. So getting back to Albert, he's got so many of those mistakes, especially in good counts for pitchers. Still made a mistake. Same thing there. A lot of the plate, pretty much the same spot of the plate that Albert hit that ball out. Murphy drives it to right center field for a double. His 16th of the season.
Jeff Jones, pitching coach, out to pay a visit. 4 batters into the ballgame. This is Simon's 24th start of the season. He's had some experience against the Angels and has not been good.
No, and then he's coming off a fantastic game his last time out. We've always said that's so difficult at times to back up a great game like he had last time out. 9-inning shutout, just 1 hit allowed against Texas. But his 3 previous starts, though, gave up 14 earned runs and 17 in the 3rd innings pitched.
Ibar drops a bunt in front of the plate. They go to first. The sacrifice advances Murphy over to 3rd. 1 out. McCann, a very good catcher behind the plate. Very good defensive catcher.
Well, if you're Simon, even though Murphy advances to 3rd base, you're just happy to get an out at that point. Especially the numbers that Eric Ibar has against the 3 for 6 with 2 home runs for Ibar against Simon.
Infield in for the Tigers. Crone looks at a strike. CJ hitting .270, 10 home runs, 29 runs batted in. A 2 for 4 game on Sunday, including a single with an RBI. One. Crone completely fooled on that pitch. And it's 1-2.
Looked like a cut fastball. Between a cut fastball and a curveball that Simon has.
If the dirt gets by McCann, here comes Murphy. Make that 4-0 Angels. A wild pitch brings in David Murphy from 3rd.
9th wild pitch for Simon this season. Overthrown right in the dirt and gets by McCann, who's a very solid defender for the Tigers, but not able to get in front of that one.
Two. Upstairs, full count. Crone fouls it back. A 4-run first inning for the Angels. Jared Weaver, a little cushion before he takes the mound.
Mentioned how well the guys felt in batting practice today, even talking to Don Baylor, Paul Sorrento. They felt the same thing. As long as they used that entire field against Simon, they were going to have some good swings. Sure, they weren't anticipating 4 runs in the first, but still some good swings. And for Weaver, mindset has to be 0-0 game right now when I take the mound. So important to put up that first 0.
th pitch of the inning. This one fouled back. Carlos Perez on deck. All started with a leadoff walk to Cole Calhoun. Little dribbler toward 3rd. Castellanos comes in. Off balance throw. Crone retired for the 2nd out of the inning.
Castellanos came in well on that slow roller from C.J. Crone, but this whole inning could be changed around. He was able to get to that one ground ball that Trout hit in the hole by him. Looked like he had a pretty good shot at that ball, went underneath his glove. Instead of being a man on first with 1 out and Albert up, ends up being 2 on, and then an 0-2 pitch from Simon to Albert hit out of the ballpark.
Carlos Perez hitting .228, back behind the plate tonight. 3 home runs, 16 runs batted in. Sac fly in Sunday's contest, picking up that 16th run batted in. He pops this one up near the plate. McCann will get rid of the mask, and Hume will make the catch, but the Angels strike for 4 runs on 3 total hits, one of which was Albert's 554th of his career.
What a swing by Albert. Huge swing in the first inning.
Nothing lead as we begin the bottom of the first inning. We'll check out the starting lineup as presented by Brad Ausmus, the skipper of the Tigers, at 59 and 65 on the season. Anthony Goes will lead things off at center field. Jose Iglesias to shortstop, Miguel Cabrera at DH, Victor Martinez at first, JD Martinez in right, Tyler Collins in left field, Nick Castellanos at third. You've got James McCann behind the plate, and Andrew Romine, the former Angel, batting ninth, playing second as they take on Jared Weaver, making his 19th start.
He has pretty good numbers against the Tigers in his career, 5-4, but last 3 starts been very, very good overall for Weaver. My go-tos, throwing a lot of strikes, 66.3% of strike percentage last time out. Those fastballs set up that very good curve and change. And the slider was pretty solid with a quick, tight break to it.
Two balls, no strikes on Goes, the center fielder. .253 average, 3 home runs, 21 runs batted in. And with Bellflower. See if we look at his strike, 2-1. This one pulled towards second and smothered by Grant Green. And a bad throw to first base. Perez literally goes over and applies the tag just to see if he made a commitment towards second. He did not. But Grant Green had a first out, but throws it wildly away. As we check out the Angels defensively, David Murphy left, Mike Trout at center, Cole Calhoun in right, the infield with Caleb Coward and Eric Ibar on the left side, Grant Green and Albert Pujols on the right, Carlos Perez behind the plate.
And Eric Ibar, the leader of that defense, especially up the middle for the Halos. In his first error in 36 games just on Sunday, but other than that, it's been very, very good for the majority of the season. So important to have him in that shortstop position, especially with the ability to turn a double play.
It's an error on Grant Green, his first of the year, allowing the speedy Goes to get to first. And the first one is in tight to Iglesias. 74th error committed by the Angels now. Seven in the last 4 games. That includes tonight. Quick throw to first. Goes is back.
19 stolen basemen, caught 9 times though.
Quick throw, and
that was real close.
Very close. The dig by Pujols.
Mike Scioscia may indeed have that looked at. He's waiting around to see if the tag was applied before Ghost got his hand back in.
One-0 pitch. Caught the inside corner to even the count. Iglesias having a good season. 306. A couple of home runs. 22 runs batted in. Shows bunt. Drops one on the third base side. Coward barehands it. Fires over to first. Albert keeps that right foot on the bag. Assuming Iglesias will get credited with a sac bunt. Moving goes into second.
Good play by Coward. That strong arm he has coming in on the bare hand. Good rotation of the infielder as Carlos Perez goes to third base because it's vacated. Same thing with Eric Ibar for protection just in case. Tries to keep going around second base into third.
First base open. Cabrera, the DH at the plate. 367 on the year. 16 home runs, 60 runs batted in. Spent some time on the disabled list. They left calf strain. 10 games here in the month of August. He's hit 487. 8 doubles, 1 home run, 6 runs batted in. Waves at the off-speed pitch. And it's 1 ball, 1 strike. No rehab assignment. 1 simulated game against Tom Gorzolani on 15-16 pitches, and he was good to go.
He's born to hit. He could have waited around a little bit longer and gone on the rehab assignment, at least until we get through town.
Yeah. Takes that pitch inside, and it's 2 balls and a strike. Went on the DL on July the 4th.
He makes him so dangerous. He uses the entire field. He hits the ball so well and so hard. To right center field, can turn on pitches inside also.
And he pulls this one down the left field line, but he hooks it into the seats.
Curveball from Weaver. Now when it's 70 miles an hour, when Weave has a good feel for that curveball, you're going to see that coming in there at 65 to 68 range. It's even more difficult for a hitter to stay back on, I should say. And Cabrera out in front himself, pulled that one foul.
Here's the 2-2. Broken bat bouncing to the left side. Coward has it. The barrel went flying as Mickey keeps the handle of the bat in his hand. 2 down.
And now it's time for In the Driver's Seat, brought to you by Kia. Speaking of Weaver and what he has done of late, been throwing the ball very, very well. 1-1 with a 2.08 ERA in his last 3 starts. Batting average against is 203, 15 punch-outs during those stretches here over the last 3 games for Weaver.
So 2 outs, goes still at second base, a 4-0 Angels lead. Here's Victor Martinez, the first baseman. Fouls this one off to the left. Martinez a 246 average. Most of the damage, though, has come from the right side of the plate, where he's hit 354 this year. And that's in 79 at-bats. He's at 213 from the left side. There's 9 home runs, 53 runs batted in. Breaking pitch, and that's lifted out toward left center field. David Murphy, Mike Trout. And it's Trout taking charge. A shutdown inning for Jared Weaver. No damage on the error by Grant Green. As we head to the second, Angels up 4-0. Brought to you by AutoNation.com and powered by AutoNation Toyota Irvine. 8-9-1 for the Halos here in the second, leading it 4-0. Jared Weaver with a shutdown inning in the first, the only base runner. Anthony goes on the error by Grant Green, his first at the Major League level this year. 0-1 count on Caleb Cowan. 2 for 19 at the Major League level, 1 double, 1 home run, and 2 runs batted in. Fouled back, and it's 1-2. Simon gave up 3 hits in the first inning and a walk. Still trying to figure out the 0-2 fastball to Albert. Albert's not trying to figure it out. He's happy.
Yes.
This one pulled towards second. Romine has it. Coward retired. There's the first down here in the second inning.
Especially after you threw a couple good ones. With that split finger fastball. Sometimes you outthink yourself when you're on the mound. You try to sneak a fastball by him just to show him that, and then throw another split finger fastball, but Albert made him pay for it.
Grant Green takes outside. Back-to-back starts at second. The Angels placing Johnny Giavotella on the 15-day disabled list today. They called up Drew Rosinski, who's in the bullpen. A dribbler foul. It's 1 ball, 1 strike. Giavotella placed on the 15-day disabled list due to personal medical reasons. I won't give specifics. One ball, 2 strikes. Little bouncer over the mound. Iglesias has it, and he can't make the throw. Another infield base hit for Grant Green.
Just trying to put the ball in play, hit it the right spot again.
I'm telling you, he's got the affinity for the infield base hit.
Hey, that's what it's part of, is putting the ball in play, and he's been rewarded with that. Iglesias couldn't maintain control of his body. It falls down, an infield hit for Green.
That's his 7th hit of the season. You've got to have at least 5 of those infield knocks.
He's got to make the most of this opportunity. He's going to get some serious playing time at second base. He was certainly in that mix in spring training as far as that competition at second base.
Cole swings through the first pitch off speed. Drew a walk and scored a run in the first inning. Good lead for Green. He's back safely. The Tigers here at home at Comerica, 29-33 on the year. Extremely down season for them. And he thought that they would certainly contend with Kansas City, get back into it. The run that the Royals had last year.
Everyone was still picking the Tigers to win this division coming into the season. Especially when you pick up some power, and when a Cespedes, you have already one of the best offenses in the American League. Again, they didn't really necessarily address the bullpen issue as much.
Bouncer to Martinez, spins around, fires Iglesias for one, back to first in time. Dino Evil playing it on the phone to see if they review this play. Tigers walking off the field as is an inning-ending double play. Tough to tell there where Cole's foot landed, and they're not going to challenge the call whatsoever. So it's an inning-ending double play. 4-0 Angels. Use hashtag West Data Strong Fan. You just might see yourself in an upcoming Angels broadcast, and it's brought to you by T-Mobile. Some dark clouds up above. We had some sprinkle of rain throughout the day here, but nothing serious. No expected delays, but you never know. Weather here is supposed to be fantastic. Actually, we're in the 60s here now.
It was actually chilly yesterday in the off day.
J.D. Martinez, Tyler Collins, Nick Castellanos here in the second inning. Martinez. Skies one on the first base side. A lot of territory here. Perez moving over near the railing, runs out of room. Albert, being the veteran that he is, knew that ball was not catchable.
Save that energy.
Never quite made it to the first base coach's box. I'm not going that far.
Because I know that was in the stand. I mean, in the dugout. I'm not going to catch that.
He's 24.
Yes.
He can go after it. No balls, 2 strikes on Martinez. Boy, what a find the Tigers have in J.D. Martinez. 0-2. Broken bat, little pop-up. Albert will come in for this one.
He saved his energy.
See, had he run over toward first base, that ball may have fallen. It's amazing how those things happen.
Veterans.
Hey, guess what, folks? It's coming up. German American Heritage Night.
Yes.
Yeah, it's right around the corner, believe it or not. September the 4th. Rangers are in town. Get your German package online or receive a German Angels hat and enjoy your pregame entertainment in the Gate 1 Music Garden. To purchase that ticket package, for more info, just go to angels.com/German. Tyler Collins, the left fielder, looks to the strike. Well, it's 2 bats that Weaver has broken. This one toward the end of the bat. Weaver's covering there. Green fires a rocket over to first. 2 down.
Weave looking back at Greg going, hey, man, can I use that fastball at some point tonight? He threw a missile over at him.
It's almost at his knees, too.
Dropped down with some movement. A little cut action on the fastball. That's why, as a second baseman, you continue over there just in case it gets underneath the glove of your first beat. That time it got underneath the glove of Albert Pujols. Grant Green in position to make the play.
Big breaking ball missing outside of Castellanos, the third baseman. 246 average, 14 home runs, 61 runs batted in.
You know, Weave got a little quick on that curveball. He's already landing, and then the arm trying to play catch up in his delivery elevates his elbow, and that's why you see that hanging breaking ball.
Caught the inside corner, 3 balls and a strike. Three-one from Weaver. Top of foul. That's the Tiger team offensively very good. First in the American League in batting average at .275. They're 4th in runs, 2nd in slugging, 2nd in on-base percentage. They're 5th in stolen bases, so they'll run a little bit as well. But they've had absolutely no pitching help from starters or relievers. Three-two, and that's hooked down the left field line, and that goes foul.
Going to make sure he threw that one for a strike. Curveball right down the heart of the plate. Was out in front, though. That one at 67. Ideally, if you're Weaver right now, think in terms of trying to paint a fastball away, down.
That is a called strike. 3 on the inside corner. Locked him up. First strikeout for Weaver. 2 in the books. 4-0 Halos. Last 5 seasons, Mike Trout, of course, Cabrera prior to that for 2 seasons, Justin Verlander, and Josh Hamilton 2010.
A lot of MVPs at this stadium today. And, of course, Albert Pujols, a 3-time MVP winner in the National League, on deck.
Verlander scheduled to go tomorrow. Hector Santiago on the mound for the Angels. Randy Wolf on Thursday. To be determined for the Angels. Figured it'll be Matt Shoemaker, but we'll see. Trout has the count evened up on him at 1 ball, 1 strike. Trout, Pujols, and Murphy here in the 3rd. Mike a base hit through the left side and a run scored in the 1st. On the corner, 1-2. Trout tired of waiting, so he backs out. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Check swing. He went around. Dale Scott rings him up. First strikeout for Simon.
Here's a top-tier play of the game brought to you by Arco. Albert Pujols on an 0-2 pitch. Simon goes with a fastball instead of a split-finger fastball, and Albert hits it out for a 3-run home run. Home run number 34 on the season. 74 RBI this season for Albert for the 3-time NL MVP in 05, 08, and 09 for the Cardinals.
.554th of his career. He's 15th all-time, now 1 shy of tying Manny Ramirez for 14th. He got a serious cookie on an 0-2 count, and he took a big bite out of it. 34th of the year, 74 runs batted in. Just inside. After a bad series the Angels are coming off of over the weekend, that off day could not have occurred at a better time. At the off day here in Michigan.
Well, I asked a lot of guys what they did yesterday on their off day. Majority of them said just relax, cleared the mind. Just went to dinner. Just we're hanging out quite a bit with each other, which is important. It's 1 behind Manny Ramirez for 14th all time.
2 balls, 2 strikes. Murphy on deck. Ground ball to short. That's Iglesias. 2 down.
That's the pitch I thought he was going to throw 0-2 to Albert. Split finger fastball down. Instead, decided to try to sneak a fastball inside against him. And Albert crushed it.
Simon has settled in since giving up the double to Murphy. Retire the next 3 guys. Give up an infield base hit to Green. Nothing more since the double. Double for David, his 16th of the year. He scored on a wild pitch. Breaking pitch, foul back. That is hit Down the line, J.D. Martinez makes the grab. The Angels are done in order here in the third. We'll head to the bottom of the third. Still 4-0 Halos.
Let's take a look at our AT Universe Rewind. Back to the World Series, 1984. Kirk Gibson against the Padres. Upper deck shot in the World Series as the Tigers win the World Series. That season, Gibby crushing the ball and crushing hands on the way into that dugout. There he is. Kirk Gibson is doing the color analyst job for the Tigers. Talked to him today for quite a bit. For all you fans back in the LA area, he's feeling much, much better. Things are progressing for him. And he's having a nice time doing the games again. He'll be doing all 6 games here on this homestand, so it's great to see Gibby back.
Found out earlier this year that he's dealing with Parkinson's. And not a fun disease to deal with. It's something that my both sets of grandparents had to deal with that. Not easy.
No.
But he's looking well, sounds great.
In typical Gibby fashion, he goes, I said, how you feeling? He goes, well, it's just something else to fight. And I said, well, that's typical of you, Gibby. And that's the way he's going to do it. He's going to fight this. What a player he was.
Football mentality in a baseball uniform.
No question.
8-9-1 for the Tigers here in the third. McCann, Romine, and goes. McCann pulls one through the left side. It's a base hit to lead off this third inning. First hit allowed by Weaver, second base runner. And here comes Romine. By the way, that 84 Tigers team was just okay.
You think? They started off 35-5. I was convinced they had more than a 25-man roster. If you're a right-handed pitcher, they seem to have 9 left-handed batters. If you were lefty, they had 9 right-handed batters, and they had a gigantic bench, too. And Sparky did such a fantastic job managing that club. Platooning players. Didn't hurt having that middle infielder with Whitaker and Trammell.
Romine looks at a strike to even account, getting to start tonight at second. 259 average, couple of home runs, 9 runs batted in.
Amazing thing, Victor, from that great team, arguably one of the best teams ever. Not one Hall of Famer from that 1984 team. No one in the Hall of Fame at this moment.
Romine skies on the right. Cole has to move in to his left. One down. Yeah, I mean, some have made a play for Alan Trammell here of late over the last couple of years.
Me being one of them.
Yeah, it's tough. It's a tough argument. I guess it goes back to how you define a Hall of Famer. And I know former players say that if you put up consistent numbers for 10 years, and they were dominant through those years.
And it really comes down to positions played. Shortstop position, a little bit different than, say, corner infielder or an outfielder, where power numbers and batting average, his offensive numbers were still really good, but he's also a very good defender at shortstop. Speaking of one of the great guys to be around and have a conversation with, Trammell for sure.
Yeah, Lou Whitaker, middle infield.
Yeah.
Darrell Evans. All right.
Howard Johnson was platoon with Brookins over at third.
Brookins. Petrie. Walt Terrell. Jack Morris, of course. Guillermo, don't call me Willie Hernandez.
Yes, MVP.
Yeah.
Of the league. Yes.
And MVP.
Chet Lemon out in center. Yeah. Harry Herndon out in the outfield. Bergman, the late Bergman, what a great guy he was. And they had a pretty good catcher.
Out toward right center field, and nobody catches that baseball. Miscommunications between Trout and Calhoun. Ending up at third as McCann goes at second. That's a double since nobody touched the baseball. Well, we've seen way too much of that over the last several games, and that's clearly a ball that's Mike Trout territory.
Yeah, there's no question. Seen him see anybody at the last second. Calhoun gets out of the way, but at that point Trout puts down his head. See both reaction from Weaver and Perez.
Gets credit with his 18th double.
Especially when you see a swing off the end of the bat like that, you're thinking as a pitcher you got an out.
Here's Iglesias, had a sacrifice bunt in the first inning. Iglesias is plunked. The base is loaded now for Miguel Cabrera.
Of course, you're going to quickly go out to talk to Weaver. And your mindset has to be right now, if you're Weave, I'm still only one pitch away from getting through this inning with no damage. I get a ground ball at a middle infielder, I'm going to be able to turn a double play with Miguel Cabrera at the plate. Very dangerous hitter, but you have to think on the positive side that I can get through this inning with no damage with one quality pitch.
Cabrera in his career against the Angels, or against Jerry Weaver specifically, 8 for 27 now, and that includes the ground out in the first inning. Has one home run and 5 runs batted in. Four career grand slams. Pulls this one foul. McCann standing at third base, goes at second. Iglesias at first. And really what should be at 2 outs. Iglesias batting with 2 outs and a man at first base. Drop fly ball between Trout and Calhoun. That is ripped down the line. That's a fair ball. Into the corner she goes. 2 in for sure. Trail runner Iglesias being waved in. He's going to come in to score, and it's a 1-run lead for the Angels, 4-3.
Change-up.
Clearing double.
Change-up there. Last time he jammed him on a change-up. This time he got the bat head out and he just gets it by. Coward down the line for a double. 25th double. Now 63 RBI for Miguel Cabrera.
So 4-3, Angels lead it now in the third. One out, man at second base. That's Cabrera. Here's Victor Martinez. A fly ball to center field in the first. Counting it up at 1 ball, 1 strike. The mistakes the Angels have made over the last 4 games have come back to haunt them greatly. And unfortunately for Weaver, these are earned because of his rule to double. And rightfully so, since somebody touched the baseball. More of a mental mistake than anything else. Two balls, 1 strike.
That's a pretty good pitch. And that two-seam, no-seam fastball getting the inside corner and didn't get the call.
Three and 1. JD Martinez on deck.
Good changeup from Weaver. Especially with that count, you got to be anticipating the fastball. Simons has settled in now after that tough first inning. All of a sudden he's looking out on the field. He's got his club back within 1 run now.
Full count on Victor. A 3-2 out toward right field. Playable for Cole. 2 down. Cabrera stays at second. So JD Martinez coming up now. The right fielder that jammed a little pop-up flare to Pujols in the second inning. .33 home runs, 84 RBIs for Martinez. Missed outside. Long third inning for Weaver. So shouldn't be the case. This one's ripped to left. That's a base hit. Cabrera will come in to score, and we are tied at 4. JD Martinez picks up his 85th RBI.
Now 3 for 5 in his career versus Weaver. Boy, I was watching him taking batting practice earlier today. JD Martinez, and the entire field he uses. and how quick his hands were. His first 15 or so swings hit the ball all the right field, and then worked the center field before pulling pitches, using the entire field to get his hands through the baseball that much better.
A guy that was just let go by the Astros at the end of spring training last year. A little dribbler towards second. Green better hurry, and just did get the speedy Tyler Collins. But Grant really took his time in fielding that baseball. It's the third out of the inning. The Tigers end up dropping the 4 spot. We head to the 4th. It's a brand new game. Cron and Perez coming up for the Angels against Alfredo Simon, who has settled down since giving up the 4 runs in the first inning. And seen this story unfold before. We saw it on Sunday with R.A. Dickey. 5 runs allowed in the first, and he settled down. Gary Weaver clearly unhappy when he got to the dugout. And he let his teammates know. He was one of those guys that has never been shy, expressing his feelings or letting his feelings known. And I can understand why, especially you know what, Gooby, at the culmination of it, that last play, seemingly harmless play, a little ground ball to second base, but the way Grant laid back on it, just imagine if that goes as an infield base hit, and all of a sudden you got first and third,
and a lot of extra pitches.
Yeah, more pitches. Can't take anything for granted.
Not in the position you're at right now.
No.
Where every game is so important, especially when you have an early lead like you have against this Tiger club, who themselves yesterday had a 5-0 lead into this 6th inning and gave up 10 runs in the 6th. So they have a little edge going, and they give up 4 runs in the first inning. You think, okay, you have a chance to knock them out early. Well, now they're back in this game.
Back in the game, a little swagger, a little confidence, a little momentum.
They're hitting .275 as a team this year, so they're going to swing the bat.
Breaking pitch, and that's out toward right field. Will get down for a leadoff single. Ibar, who had a sac bunt in the first, leads off the 4th with a base hit. 5th hit allowed by Simon. There's a hot upcoming schedule. It's a long road trip. 3 here in Detroit. Day game on Thursday. Then it's off to Cleveland. A day game on Sunday. And then it's Oakland for 3 with a day game next Wednesday the 2nd. It's back home. It doesn't get any easier. Texas, Dodgers, and then the Astros.
What if Mike Scioscia doesn't press the issue right here now with Eric Ibar at first base, 10 stolen bases. Alfredo Simon has allowed 12 stolen bases in 18 attempts against them.
throws a lot of split finger fastball, which gives you a better chance to steal a base.
Pretty good rip there by Crone on the first pitch. TJ grounded out in the first inning, so he's 0 for 1.
See, just the threat of a potential stolen base as a pitcher against you forces you to throw more fastballs, and that's what you want as a hitter.
Got a pretty good catcher behind the plate.
And he's throwing out over 37% of would-be base stealers. Solid arm.
Very good release as well, very quick. Four runs in the first for the Angels, 4 runs in the third for Detroit.
There's that split finger fastball. Still amazing how many splitters he throws during the course of a game.
It's got different action to it every time, it seems like. Almost looks like a little slider action. The one he threw to Pujols almost had like a sink action to it.
It all depends on where that wrist is when he releases that split finger fastball.
Runner goes, hit and run is on. That'll get down for a hit. Ibar keeps on chugging the third. Martinez with a good arm. And Castellanos comes up with the one hopper.
Tell you what, when you look at the back on this season, one of the most effective guys that Mike Scioscia has been comfortable putting the hit and run on is with C.J. Crone at the plate. He's been very successful just putting the ball in play, just punching the ball the right field. What it does for C.J. Crone, it makes him shorten up his swing and think in terms of contact.
I'm not sure long term that's a good thing for a power hitting guy, but you're right. I agree with you.
It's amazing. He's been the most effective guy.
Absolutely. Him and David Freese when healthy.
Yes. Who's not that far away from coming back. Quite possibly this weekend.
First and third. Nobody out. Carlos Perez at the plate. He popped out to McCann, the catcher, his first time up.
I think Simon thought he got away with that one too. That curveball right down the heart of the plate at 77. You can always tell by a reaction from a pitcher how long he stared into that baseball in the catcher's mitt. He's happy to get that baseball back.
Infield back at double play depth. They'll get up the run for the out. One ball, one strike.
Boy, Goes plays an extremely shallow center field. Then again, with that wall so far back, everyone looks like they're playing shallow in center field here at Comerica Park.
420 to straightaway center. 2 balls, 1 strike, 330 down the right field line, 345 down the left. 385 to the power alley. 365, pardon me, before it juts out a little bit further to the power alley. In right center.
Baseball carries very well the right center field here, too. Certainly a great pitcher's yard.
An even better pitcher's yard when it first opened. They moved in the fences in left field. Ibar with a leadoff single. Crone on the hit and run. The base hit. He stands at first. 3 balls, 1 strike. Caleb Coward on deck. These are the opportunities you need to capitalize on. A couple of men on to start the inning after you just gave up 4 runs to make this a brand new game.
Huge opportunity for the Angels right now. 3-1 count, first and third. You need to be patient here if you're Carlos to get a pitch to drive.
In the dirt, gets by McCann, another wild pitch, and the Angels are up 5-4. It's a walk to Carlos. And Ibar scores on the wild pitch.
Well, we talk so often for our pitchers to put up that zero, but Simon to put up a zero was huge here for the Tigers. Unable to do so. He's already given up a run and still does not have an out.
First and second, nobody out. Caleb Coward coming up. Castellanos playing in on the grass at third base. Martinez just in front of the bag at first. David DeJesus has come out to the on-deck circle. He would bat for Grant Green. The one thing I will say is that after that last play, I watched Green jog toward the dugout. And there was a little limp to his step going toward the dugout, so I don't know if he felt something. As Coward pushes a bunt on the third base side. Nice bunt. Castellanos lets it go foul. No balls and a strike. The Angels, keep in mind, are playing a position player short. Giavotella going on the disabled list. Drew Rosinski was called up. The Angels needed some help in the bullpen, considering all of the arms that were used over the weekend. You got Ryan Jackson. He is your only infielder. If in fact Jesus comes up and pinch hits, but he is in the on-deck circle. We're in the fourth inning. Up and in, throw to second, and thrown back safely. One Coward again showing a bunt. This one's a fair ball. Simon goes to first.
Well, he almost thought about throwing that to second.
He got to it quickly enough where he thought maybe he would.
But that would have been an off-balance throw. That might have been interesting, throw that to second, even though, you have Perez going to second, catcher. That would have been a difficult throw. Decided just to take the out.
Here's DeJesus. Corner infielders in. Middle infield halfway. That's up and in. Watch out. Little chin music.
Jesus, good numbers. Or no, 1 for 9 in his career versus Simon.
David this year is a pinch hitter, 3 for 18 with the Angels 0 for 5. Off speed, down and in. 2 balls, no strikes. Here's Grant Green after the last play here. As he runs in, see a little, maybe that's just his normal jog, but being pinch hit for here. That's pulled down the line, foul, just down in front of it. 2 balls and 1 strike. If we hear a word, we'll certainly pass it along if there is something wrong with Grant. Ibar scoring on the wild pitch, putting the Angels back on top 5-4 here in the fourth. Going to third, Perez at second. That one's blocked.
It's another split finger fastball in the dirt.
and the importance of using that whole field against Simon.
Three-one pitch. David takes a fastball right down Broadway. Full count. Little flare out to shallow center field, and it's off the glove of Iglesias. With the infield playing in, a little more difficult play for the sure-handed shortstop. Can't come up with it. The run scores 6-4 Angels.
I've seen him make so many unbelievable defensive plays, but look how far and how quickly he had to try to catch that going over shoulder like a wide receiver on a throw over the shoulder to try to catch it off the thumb of the glove, and unable to keep that ball under control.
That's a hit and an RBI for DeJesus.
Looks like a line drive.
Yeah. If Jones back out.
Boy, it's good to see the offense respond right back. How important was that swing and at bat for Eric Ibar? And then Mike Scioscia putting that hit and run on, and C.J. Cron just punching that ball in the right field. True leader, one of the true leaders of this team, Eric Ibar, on the defensive side, but certainly in that dugout, in that clubhouse, and certainly when he's on the bases.
Top of the order now, Cole Calhoun. Cole with a walk and a double play ball. 0 for 1. Perez at second. DeJesus at first. Down low. Down and in. Now it's backhanded by McCann. It stays near the plate. 2-0.
Already 2 wild pitches in this game for Simon. 10 on the season.
Six-4 Halos. 1 out, 2 on. Trout on deck. Full foul. Nobody losing for the Tigers. Mentioned the struggles that they've had at their bullpen. They used 4 relievers in last night's game. That was a makeup game against Cincinnati. So, as you pointed out, they had a no-hitter into the 6th inning when they scored 10.
That felt like that was all in 1 inning, all those pitchers being used.
Two balls, 2 strikes. .76 pitches thrown by Simon so far. 48 strikes, 1 punch out, 2 walks. 2-2 down low. Full count. Highly doubt you see the base runners going here. Left-handed batter up. McCann, a good defensive catcher. Oh, he's been busy tonight. A splitter from Simon.
Yeah, a lot of times you'll see it on 3-2 count with one out, runners going, but I don't think you do that, especially with Trout on deck. And a left-handed batter up at the plate.
3-2. Cole strikes out swinging. 2 outs. So it'll bring up Trout, who's 1 for 2 tonight. A single with a run scored in the first, a strikeout in the third. 6-4, looking for more. Simon, a very long look in. We're just in the 4th inning. There's the Ephus pitch.
Doesn't throw that too often anymore. 61-mile-an-hour pitch. One of those counts where hitters have had tremendous success against Simon, hitting over 500 with 3 home runs on 2-0 counts when swinging.
3-0 now. Pujols on deck. A strike.
Threw him a 3-0 split finger fastball. Would not be surprised if he threw a 3-1 split finger fastball.
Now McCann's going to go out and talk things over.
He's probably saying, you want to throw a split finger fastball or do you want to throw a split finger fastball? On a 3-1 count.
It's a tough decision.
Yes, it is.
And he walked him. He decided on the splitter.
Decided he didn't want to throw for a strike either.
So they're loaded up now. And Albert coming up. Verhagen getting ready. Albert, 3-run home run in the first inning, a ground ball to short in the third. Simon working from the stretch. Home run for Albert is 34th. There's a strike.
Going back to my Hyundai key for this game for the Angels to be successful. Still in the night, those quiet hands through the baseball. Albert got a pitch to drive, didn't miss it. But it was all about the hands and the approach to be able to make good contact on an 0-2 pitch. Can he do it again right now?
These great numbers against the Tigers for Albert this year. 4 home runs, 9 RBI. This in 5 games.
He's really given Albert a healthy dose of the splitter since giving up that fastball for a home run. An 0-2 count in the first inning. Perez standing at third base. DeJesus at second. The pinch hitter, and Trout over at first via the walk. Still no reason for why Grant Green taken out of the game, but we will pass it along once we hear it. Albert backing out.
A lot of conversations, a lot of time in between pitches for Simon. And we've said this a million times over, when you're a defender, you can see this reaction by the fielders in the field behind them. It's a difficult play to make. You have guys with their hands on their hips, not in that, getting that good prep step to be ready to make a quick play if the ball's hit hard to the right or left.
Albert, little dribbler to the left side. Iglesias comes charging in. Angels leave them loaded, but they do strike for 2 runs as we head to the bottom of the 4th. Angels back on top 6-4. Makes his debut as head coach of his alma mater, leading Michigan and Utah to take on the Utes squad that knocked off the Wolverines last year in Ann Arbor. The only place you can see it is on Fox Sports 1, streaming live on Fox Sports 2.
That should be real interesting. There's a lot of energy there in that coach.
Yes, there is. Ryan Jackson stays in the game, or comes into the game, I should say, replacing Grant Green. David DeJesus has been used as a pinch hitter, so Jackson will bat 9th, play second.
Harbaugh has a great collection of pants, slacks, doesn't he?
Yeah. Isn't there a bus? It's the khaki bus or whatever. I'm not kidding. We just saw it recently. Castellanos, McCann, and Román here, the 4th for the Tigers. And he pulls one down the left field line and it hooks foul.
Very similar to what he did last at bat where he pulled one foul. And he locked him up with a fastball inside.
Castellanos struck out looking into second. The only punch out for Weaver. No walks, 1 strikeout, 1 hit batter. Now it was Iglesias in the 3rd. That loaded the bases up for Cabrera. Cabrera cleared him, I should say, with a double. 2-2 pitch. Instead, full count.
Try to go back inside with that fastball like he got him last time. I think we'll throw him his curveball right now.
That is out toward left field. Murphy moving back on, it's over his head. At the base of the wall, Castellanos into second with a leadoff double, his 18th of the year.
You know, we showed the curveball a lot in our opening when we talked about Weaver and our tools of the trade. There really hasn't been a whole lot of differential between his fastball tonight as compared to what he had last game out. Is he able to stay back? Castellanos, even though it was located pretty well, he stayed back on that curveball and hit that ball hard. One hops the wall to left field. That differential in speeds not there as much for Weaver tonight as it was his last start out.
Here's McCann, who singled to lead off the third inning, scored one of the 4 runs. He swings it, drives one out toward left center field. Long run for Trout. He will dive and make a catch. What a terrific play by Mike Trout to the backhand for the first out.
That is not an easy play, how far he had to go. Covering a lot of ground. Playing, like we said before, he's playing more shallow, so he's got to cover more ground going back and into his right. And then the full extension on the dive for Trout. What an outstanding play. Kept his head still as he went through all the way to that baseball. What a play by Trout.
One out, one on. Here's Romine. Andrew 0 for 1, hit a fly ball to Calhoun in the third. Ground ball off the end of the bat toward Ryan Jackson. Romine retired. 2 down. Castellanos over to third. We're being told that Grant Green left the game today with right knee discomfort. This is the play that kind of ended the third inning and ended Grant's night.
As he tries to pivot and make the throw, that's where you see the knee. A little awkward on that for his knee as he tried to pivot and throw as quick as possible to first base, and then the jog off the field.
And the jog is what really stood out to me as he was going off the field. Anthony goes, takes that pitch inside. Reached on an error by Green in the first inning. And reached on the double, in quotation marks. That was the ball miscommunicated between Trout and Calhoun. He dropped it for double, and he scored one of the 4 runs. He pulls this one foul. 1 ball, 1 strike. Ground ball to second. Jackson has it. And that leadoff double stranded in scoring position. 4 complete. Halos leading at 6-4. Charger with an EPA estimated 31 highway miles per gallon. This car was made for driving in California. Visit Dodge.com. By AT&T Uverse. More live channels on the go than cable.
And by Subaru. Test drive the all-new 2015 Subaru Forester or go to Subaru.com to learn more.
Halos up 6-4 as we start the fifth inning. David Murphy to lead things off for the Angels. Alfredo Simon back out on the mound. Murphy, Ibar, and Crone for the Halos here in the fifth. David doubled in the first and scored. Hit a fly ball right in the third. Now we've got the outside corner. It's 1 ball, 1 strike.
Boy, notice a lot of hitters stepping out against Simon. Taking a long time in between each pitch.
About to throw his 90th pitch. Now a cute foul. Still a 1 ball, 2 strike count. Both teams with 4-run innings. The Angels retaking the lead in the fourth. Helped out by a wild pitch. And an RBI single off the glove of Jose Iglesias. This one over to the right side. Pass Martinez. Almost looked like he had that little Super Bowl bounce. Just took that second hop and just shot right by him.
It's amazing how he can hit a baseball that hard. He's out in front, but the pitch was down. Has dropped the head of the bat. Just compact enough to get it by Martinez at first, but it was a pitch down.
Second hit of the night for David. Here's Ibar. Sack bunt of the first, singled and scored in the fourth. This one's out toward left field, hit pretty well, chasing Collins back, still going back, that's over his head. Murphy racing to third, he's going to be waved in. The throw, there isn't one, it's cut off. It's an RBI double for Ibar, makes it 7-4.
Boy, how about that carry on that baseball hit off the bat of Eric Ibar for a double. Giving him now 21 doubles. And one of the leaders of this club. Couple good at bats in a row. Pitch down, went with it. Collins trying to track it, but unable to get back there at the angle he took.
That little extra bobble allowing Murphy to score from first.
Been an impressive swing by Eric, using the whole field. Some smiles in that dugout right now. And you want to keep adding on.
Now Crone gets hit by a pitch. They just announced that it's a double with an RBI for Ibar. So Eric gets his 21st double, 36th run batted in.
What if Mike Scioscia won't have Carlos square around the bunt? Speaking of squaring around, let's be able to get this one, turn your back enough. Lower part of the back. And another visit to the mound. Well, Jeff Jones has been out there a number of times in this game already.
Yeah, he will slow walk you to the mound. He is from that Mel Stottlemyre school.
Going to give you plenty of time down in the bullpen to get ready.
Verhagen's back up and loosening, who's up in the fourth inning. Carlos Perez popped out in the first inning, walked in the fourth. 1 ball, no strikes.
Long look down to third base by Carlos Perez and Gary DiSarcina.
Anthony Goes was coming in from center field to try to backpick Eric Ibar at second base. Eric taking that secondary lead, and the wheel play was on, so Eric was way off the bag. McCann thought about throwing down to second. Not bunting, shoots one out toward right center field. Long run for Anthony Goes. Good speed, though. Looks like he's tracking it down, and he does. Ibar will tag, head to third. And that's the first out of the inning.
Good base running by Ibar to be able to tag up and get to third base. You can see how that baseball is carrying pretty well here tonight.
Cool night.
Did in batting practice, baseball was flying out.
The flying out on left center field, pointing out toward left. Ibar standing at third base, Cronin first, and here's Caleb Coward. Coward 0 for 1. Sack bunt in the 4th inning. Seven, 4 Angels here in the 5th. Leadoff single by David Murphy. Then Ibar brought him home with a double. Simon at 96 pitches now. Verhagen's ready to go. Coward, little dribbler foul. So 1 ball, 2 strikes. 9 hits for the Angels so far. They scored 4 in the first, took a 4-0 lead. Tigers tied it up in the 3rd. Angels answered right back in the 4th inning with 2. 1 so far here in the 5th. Brian Jackson, new second baseman's on deck. 1-2 on the way. Way outside, goes off the glove, and Ibar will come in to score. 8-4 Angels. That is the 3rd run that is scored on a wild pitch, and that possibly a pass ball, although not the easiest of pitches to deal with. It is a wild pitch, so 3 runs have come across on 3 wild pitches.
He's setting up inside as if he was looking for a fastball inside, and it looked like he went backdoor slider.
Even the way McCann tried to reach for that ball almost looked like he got crossed up on it.
Yeah, and there's no question he did.
Ibar has scored twice on a wild pitch. Murphy, the other one, that was in the 1st.
He's setting up inside thinking fastball. Instead, he gets, it almost looked like you see a reaction from a knuckleball.
2 balls, 2 strikes. Cronin at second now, still 1 out. Outside, full count.
This is curveball once again.
Might be the last batter for Simon. He's at 100 pitches now. And there's ball 4. 3rd walk, pardon me, 4th walk he's issued. And sure enough, Brad Auspis is coming out. Tiger fans applauding the fact that he's finally out there to make the move. A pitching change here in the 5th inning. The Angels have scored twice in the 5th, have a couple of men on. Ryan Jackson coming to the plate. Angels on top 8-4. 9 hits, including the home run to Pujols in the first inning. 8 runs, all earned, 4 walks, 2 strikeouts. And he's responsible for Cron at second and Coward at first. Drew Verhagen takes over on the mound, the right-hander, 24-year-old out of Vanderbilt. These are in and out, who's in, who's out. 4th-round pick in 2012. Pitched in 1 game last year, this being his 5th Major League game this season. 4 innings, 4 hits, 3 runs. 5 walks and no strikeouts. Facing Ryan Jackson. Ryan, his first plate appearance. Drops a ball on the third base side. Verhagen off the mound, throws out Jackson. 2 down.
Verhagen's got a good fastball, 93-97. Curveball, split finger fastball.
Been a AA and AAA this year. Total of 20 games combined between the two. All in relief. 20 games. 3-3 record. 3.41 ERA. No sacrifice for Jackson, by the way. Just a 1-3 put out. Cron to third now. Coward to second. Cole tonight, a walk, a double play ball, and a strikeouts. He's 0 for 2. Ground ball to second. Romine has got it. Inning over. The Angels add 2 more here in the 5th inning. We'll head to the bottom of the inning. The Angels on top 8-4. No walks, 1 hit batter. He's given up 5 hits, 4 runs. And here in the 5th inning, he's got 2, 3, and 4. Iglesias, Cabrera, and Martinez. Iglesias, a sacrifice bunt in the first, hit by a pitch in the 3rd. That set up the bases loaded situation for Miggy. Iglesias 2 for 8 in his career against Weaver. It's this one on the first base side into foul territory. Albert is there. 1 down. This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the Los Angeles Angels. It may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of Angels Baseball LP. So Miguel Cabrera coming to the plate. Bases clear. A 1-for-2 game so far. Ground out and a double into the left field corner. 3 RBIs. It's a strike on the outside corner.
He's going back-to-back fastballs against Cabrera.
This one out toward right field. Cole moves over, puts it away, 2 down.
In that sequence against Miguel Cabrera, Jared Weaver threw 3 fastballs and 1 slow curveball.
Oh, you got an off-speed pitch to the last at bat, right? Pulled it down the left field line.
Exactly.
Martinez, the first baseman, 0 for 2. Twice has hit a fly ball out. Weaver tonight has 1, 2, 3 inning. This one's pulled down the line. Glove by Pujols. Weaver is there. Make that 2. 1, 2, 3 innings. Nice play by Albert. 5 in the books. Still an 8-4 Angels lead. An 0-2 pitch, 2 on. Well, that swing, 3 in. 3-run home run. And then with the bases loaded, the former MVP Miguel Cabrera doubles down the line, bringing in 3 himself, tied the game up. Then Eric Aybar with another good swing going left center field. Big double score in David Murphy. The Angels retake the lead. They'll lead this one out 8-4 with Albert Pujols on deck after an outstanding defensive play, and Mike Trout leading off this inning. Drew Verhagen on the mound. Finished up the 5th inning. He'll face Trout, Pujols, and Murphy here in the 6th. Simon, by the way, charged with the 8 runs, all earned in 4 1/3. 3 wild pitches, 4 walks, 1 hit batter. Trout 1 for 2, single, strikeout, and a walk. He also scored a run. 2 balls, 1 strike.
Well, if he tries one of those fastballs, even though it's firm at 94, outer part of the plate, Trout might drive that one extremely well to right center field.
Off the corner. At a full count. Verhagen went to a junior college first, Navarro Junior College, before going on to Vanderbilt. This is a bouncer over to Iglesias. 1 away. Here's Albert. 1 for 3 with a home run that he hit in the first inning. Next 2 times up, he's grounded out to short. And again, another off-speed pitch to Albert. Just missed low. 2 balls, no strikes. This kid's got a good arm.
Free and easy delivery.
Yeah. 6'6".
This has to be more consistent in the strike zone.
And there's a 4-pitch walk. Puts a man on for Murphy. Angel fans, send your kid back to school in style with Junior Angels Kids Club merchandise. Each kid includes an Angels shirt, socks, shoelaces, and more. And for only $18, they can be the star of the classroom. Visit angels.com/Junior Angels for more info and to purchase your kit today. Murphy 2 for 3. Single and a double. 2 runs scored for him. Now McCann going to go out and pay a visit. Back-to-back hitters. He's fallen behind here. So 7 out of the zone now.
In that inconsistency in the strike zone. For the youngster, he's got a chance with that arm to be a pretty good pitcher, but you still have to throw strikes consistently.
3-1. Yeah, 6 walks now at the major league level this year with no strikeouts.
A lot of times when you're a young pitcher, when you can make it to the major leagues, you give hitters too much credit. Well, with an arm like he has, you got to think the same way you throw down in the minor leagues. They're just hitters at a different level.
Grounded over to second base. Romine to Iglesias, back to first. That's an inning-ending double play. We'll head to the bottom of the 6th. The Angels still up 8-4. Coming up, it's an all-new Gooby Tuesday. Find out the favorite Little League moment from some Angels players next.
The ABC World Series, played in Houston, Texas, and it was in Georgia. So a travel tournament of that caliber, you felt like it was a big deal as a kid.
We had a good pitcher that we're like, let's save him for the next game, and they threw me out there thinking that's going to be an easy win. And next thing you know, they started shelling me all over the place.
I think my very first Grand Slam, I still have the ball signed by all the guys on the team. I was probably 8 or 9 at the time, so it's still in the trophy case at my mom's house.
That's pretty funny. I asked Jared Weaver about that after that home run. I said, "Did you give a little bat flip?" He goes, No. Not even back then would I ever bat flip, even with a home run, because I wouldn't want somebody to do that against me.
And we know about bat flips and Jared Weaver here in this ballpark. No bueno.
They don't work out well.
No. J.D. Martinez, Tyler Collins, and Nick Castellanos here in the 6th inning for the Tigers.
Well, Little League World Series going on at this moment. It's a lot of fun to watch them play.
That is hit well out to deep left field toward the corner. One hops the fence. Martinez, I should say, on his way to second with his second hit of the night. And an RBI single in the 3rd. Picks up his 23rd double here.
He is a hitting machine.
Again, let go by the Astros at the end of spring training last year and signed to a minor league deal by the Tigers.
I was asking Wally Joyner today, the hitting coach for the Tigers, what makes him so special. And he really just basically talked about his preparation. And I talked about it earlier, what he did during batting practice, how he uses right field for his first few swings, center field, and then tries to turn on the baseball.
Tyler Collins, the left fielder, twice has grounded out.
It certainly helps when you watch Miguel Cabrera swing the bat. Now, if you're a young hitter, just watch him and emulate him as much as you can.
Good off-speed pitch.
It's the one pitch that hasn't really worked as well for Weaver in the scheme. For the most part, is his changeup, but that was a good one there. Very important for him to get that good feel for that pitch here in the 6th inning to get through this.
Two-one count. Collins played into 18 games last year for the Tigers. This being his 35th game this year. 6th round pick in 2011 at Howard College in Big Spring, Texas. He hits this one out toward right center field. Cole racing over is there. He'll make the catch. J.D. Martinez tags. Here comes the throw from Calhoun. It's just off target. Martinez in there safely. And there's one out with a man at 3rd for Detroit.
Well played by Cole. And in right field, right center field to run that one down.
Trevor Gott getting ready. Nick Castellanos doubled and was stranded leading off the 4th. He's had a 1-for-2 night so far. It's also the only strikeout that Weaver's picked up. Now he's back in the 2nd. Here we go for the full windup here with one out and a man at 3rd. Lifted out to right, not very deep. Martinez back to the bag. Here comes Cole. Makes the catch. Martinez not coming down the line. The throw is cut off.
What a good idea. He didn't go down the line. Boy, Cole did a nice job of getting around and behind that baseball to give himself a better shot, getting a good throwing position because the baseball was hit high enough.
So 2 outs now, and James McCann now up. Santa Barbara native, 2nd round pick in 2011 at the University of Arkansas. Boy, do they like his play behind a plate. Came in batting .267, 5 home runs, 26 runs batted in.
Very important for Weaver to maintain that focus, get through this inning. Has a chance to get through here with no damage. With a leadoff double.
Out toward left center field, hit pretty well. Murphy racing back at the wall. That is gone. A 2-run home run for McCann. 8-6 Angels. McCann with his 6th of the season.
In that location, not there for Weave. And McCann with his 6th home run. See the target. He wanted that more of the outside part of the plate, but that break ball slider, I think it was, had more of the plate than Weaver wanted. Hits that one out to left center field.
Romine's hit a fly ball to right, and he's grounded out. So 8-6 game now. That was the 85th pitch of the night for Weaver.
You mentioned it earlier, Victor. It's that fine line for Weaver when he misses location. That slider, won it down and away, which was the right pitch, but just spun back in the middle of the plate.
And now he hits Romine on the knee on a 1-2 count. That may be all for Weaver. Here comes Mike Scioscia. Gott's ready to go in the bullpen. And sure enough, there's the signal. You thought he was on the verge of getting out of it, getting 2 fly balls off the bat of Collins and Castellanos, but McCann a home run, and now on a 1-2 count. Hits Romine, so Mike Scioscia goes to the pen. Trevor Gott being summoned from left center field. We're in the 6th inning. Angels on top 8-6. Earned 1 strikeout, 2 hit batters. He's responsible for Romine standing at first base as Trevor Gott takes over on the mound. Pitching in his 32nd game. Gott 2-1 and a 1.67 ERA. 32 to third innings, 26 hits, 14 strikeouts, 6 walks. He'll be facing the top of the order, and Anthony goes, the center fielder. You got a chance to see and talk with Scott Shields. Makes his home here in Michigan.
I said, this is the mini you right here,
yeah.
Shieldsy. And then right away he came over and shook Trevor Gott's hand, and he had a big smile, Trevor Gott did, when he met Scott Shields.
Probably heard the name, and now you can put a face to it.
Exactly. He goes, wow, I was watching the game the other day, and his fastball is electric.
First one low, goes 1 for 2. Pardon me, 1 for 3. Double with a run scored in the 3rd inning.
what is the feel for his pitch is a lot different, especially last game to this game. For Weaver, had a battle all the way through 5 2/3.
3 balls, no strikes. And he walked him on 4 pitches. Tying run now on board. And Iglesias coming up. Iglesias tonight 0 for 1. Popped down in the 5th inning in foul territory. Been hit by a pitch. Had a sacrifice bunt. Snap throw to first base, and the ball gets away from Albert. That allows Romine to go to third. Two-out back pick at first base. Figure that Carlos gets charged with an error there.
I wonder if that baseball got Albert's shin area.
On 1. God's got it. Iglesias is out, and the inning is over. Tigers strike for 2 on the McCann home run. We head to the 7th. Angels still on top. Time to get a fast free quote and see how much you can save. By the Palazzo Las Vegas, where every key unlocks a suite. And by Hyundai. The summer clearance is going on now at your Hyundai dealer. Visit buyhyundai.com today. Eric Ibar to lead things off for the Angels here in the 7th game 1 of a 3-game set against the Tigers at Comerica Park. Beautiful Comerica Park. Jorge get back out of the mound. He's gone an inning and 2/3 so far. We have relief of Alfredo Simon. Ibar, Cronin, Perez. Eric 2 for 2, a sac bunt, a single, a double, an RBI, and 2 runs scored tonight. Double to left center field. He's 21st of the year. The RBI is 36th. 2 balls, no strikes.
Well, time to get back to hitting again. Right guy to have leading off once again. He's had 2 really good at-bats in a row.
Two balls, 2 strikes. This was out to right field. It's a 3rd hit of the night for Eric Ibar.
Right on cue, the right guy to get this started once again.
Well, it's nice to see the Angels not only scored multiple innings, Gooby, but scored multiple runs in innings.
And is staying back in that quiet approach. Those hands is still through the swing. A lot more confidence in their swings tonight. Wonder if Mike Social will put a hit and run on once again. It worked last time these 2 were on in this spot.
Rowan takes down and away. Just kind of going through the book here. Talking about multiple runs on multiple occasions in a game. It's the first time the Angels have done it since the August 13th game in Kansas City. And that's when they came back in the 8th and 9th innings against the Royals.
Boy, 10 of the last 13 road games, they'd score 3 or fewer runs.
Yeah, and you take that game out. Prior to that, you'd have to go back to August the 7th at home against Baltimore, where they've scored or had multiple innings of 2 or more runs. Angels 8-14 in the month of August. And as a team, have hit just .219. Staff ERA this month too at 4.8. And leading this one 8-6 here in the 7th, looking for more. Cron 1 for 2. Was hit by a pitch in his last plate appearance. Off-speed pitch caught the inside corner. Other scores: Houston leading the Yankees 15-0 in the 7th at Yankee Stadium. Dallas Keuchel got the start for the Astros. Texas currently leading Toronto 5-4. Ground ball to the right side. Romine has it. Goes to second for 1. Quick relay back to first. And a double play. And what a quick release by Iglesias.
Well, I was going to say that's a very difficult double play ball. Be able to turn. Romine quick on his throw, and Iglesias with his power arm that he has in a quick release, able to turn a double play, which on a slow roller like that you don't think you're going to have a chance at.
Carlos looks at a strike. 0 for 2 tonight. Oh, 2 upstairs. Tigers at the bottom of the 7th have Cabrera, Martinez, and Martinez. 2-2. I would imagine Trevor Gott comes back out. Pitches to 7th. And Perez goes down swinging. First strikeout of the season for Verhagen. Stretch time here in Detroit. 8-6. Angels lead it. Strongest fans voted a hashtag West State of Strong Fan for a chance to be featured in an upcoming broadcast, and it's brought to you by T-Mobile. Fernando Salas takes over on the mound for the Angels here in the bottom of the 7th inning. 3, 4, and 5 coming up for the Tigers. Nando pitching in his 56th game, 3-1 record of .450 ERA.
Very important to be able to establish his fastball first and foremost. He has a plus changeup and slider. 56 strikeouts, only 8 walks this year for Fernando.
He's had a tough month of August, although he's picked up 2 wins. 10 and 2/3 innings, 11 hits, 7 runs, 6 earned. He's got a .506 ERA. And not many of these guys have a whole lot of experience against them. Cabrera takes inside. Miguel 0 for 2 in his career. Making the DH. 1 for 3. Doubled with the bases loaded in the 3rd inning. Brought in 3 runs, and he also scored. 2 balls, no strikes. God ends up going a 1/3 of an inning, 1 walk. Fouled off to the right.
Good life in that fastball. 92 from Salas.
Back up the middle and a base hit. Almost hit Salas. A rocket. Puts the leadoff man on board. Victor Martinez 0 for 3. That one sharply down the first base line of the 5th inning, gloved nicely by Pujols. Turned it into the last out. Now we're playing behind Cabrera at first. Fernando falls behind and 1 ball, no strikes.
Talked about the need for Fernando to get ahead of the count. Has not been able to do so in the first 2 batters. Especially this part of the order for Detroit.
It's interesting to see Socia kind of reverse course a little bit, because Scott has kind of been a 7th inning guy for Mike, but instead had Trevor come in to face Goes and Iglesias after Romine was hit by a pitch by Weaver, his last batter.
And what we're seeing from Socia so far is any time when Weaver's been out there and starting the game, he's been able to bring God in to follow him up in the middle of an inning a couple times now to go from Weaver, the slow curveball, changeup, slider back into that power fastball.
But then again, someone throwing 90 seems like a power fastball with the way Weave tantalizes hitters nowadays with the slow stuff. Off the plate, 2 balls and a strike. Jared gave up 6 runs earned on 7 hits and 5 2/3. And while that 3rd inning turned out to be an ugly inning for the Angels in general, love to have that pitch to McCann back. This location,
exactly.
Home run.
Again, that was the right pitch by Weave. Slider, but it backed up on him. Not too much. The plate was down, the middle of the plate and down and away. He rolls over on that pitch.
Martinez lifts one out to shallow center. And fires the bat away. Trout underneath it. 1 down.
Yeah, fastball hard at the plate, but elevated enough to have him just miss that pitch. Upper part of the strike zone.
JD Martinez, a couple of hits tonight, a single and a double. He's driven in 1. Pujols now will hold Cabrera on at first base. A righty up.
Change up first pitch. Good one.
And that gets through. Carlos Perez. Cabrera to second base. Wild pitch.
Change up. Didn't quite get the glove down quick enough to keep that in front. It's a big play because now you've taken away a potential ground ball double play.
Careful with JD Martinez. 33 home runs on the season. Three 1 count. And he walked him. After the wild pitch, I don't have a whole lot of problem with that, considering the year that Martinez is having.
In the plate coverage he has, he uses the whole field so well.
Now here comes Mike Butcher. Tyler Collins due up. The left fielder 0 for 3. Tying run now at first base. Collins, tardy on the fastball, fouls it off. Halos with 8 runs on 10 hits. They've committed 2 errors and stranded 5. Tigers 6 runs, 8 hits. They've stranded 5. Grant Green out of the game. Right knee discomfort. David DeJesus pinch hit for him in the 4th. Foul back. 0-2 count. Big rip there by Collins. Downstairs. 1 and 2. The Angels have action in their pen. Joe Smith getting ready. Collins goes down swinging. 2 down.
That was a real good changeup from Fernando. Sold that one well. Started middle of the plate and drifted off the outside corner to get a swing and miss. Front shoulder in well. Change up, running down and away. Perfect pitch for Salas.
Nick Castellanos with a double tonight, 1 for 3. Here comes Mike Scioscia. Looks like that may be all for Fernando. Oh, really going to the bullpen early. He asked for 4 outs from Joe Smith now.
I think you have to. Very important win to get on this first day of this long road trip.
A pitching change. We're the 7th with 2 outs and 2 on. Joe Smith coming out of relief. 8-6 Angels. Joe will be facing Nick Castellanos once he's done with his warm-up pitches. And yeah, I know there's a sense of urgency here considering how things played out over the weekend, but there's also a lot of pitches thrown out of that bullpen. And Mike using Gott for 1/3 of an inning. Then Salas, he handed the ball off to in the 7th, goes 2/3 of an inning. And after strikeout of Collins, Mike decides to go to the pen again.
We mentioned that a lot of innings. You just said that, Victor. A lot of innings and pitches out of the bullpen of late. And not only when they're in the game, the amount of times they're up to get ready to get in the game. It's a lot of throws.
0-1 count. Castellanos mentioned the double in the fourth inning. That was his 18th of the year. That was off of Weaver. One ball, one strike. Castellanos 0 for 2 in his career. He leads Joe. Ground ball toward short. That'll sneak through for a base hit. Cabrera comes in to score. It's a one-run lead now, 8-7 Angels.
Just went down and got this pitch from Joe Smith, a ground ball, but found a hole. Talked about how well this Tiger team hits. Well, we've seen that in this game.
In this inning, because now you've got the fifth man to bat in this inning up, pardon me, sixth, will ensure that Miguel Cabrera will bat again in this game. McCann 2 for 3 with a single and a 2-run home run in the sixth inning. Tying run at second. Cuts through that one as no ball is 2 strikes.
Good slider there from Joe. When you see a swing like that where a hitter's pulling off the baseball, you got to think I could try that a little bit further off the outside corner now. That's perfect pitch. Joe thought he had it. Middle of the plate, lower part of the strike zone is touching the lower part of the strike zone.
McCann slices one on the right side, smothered by Pujols. Joe covering, they get the out at first, and the inning is over.
Albert's made 2 outstanding plays today, along with that 3-run home run in the first inning.
We head to the 8th inning with the Angels clinging to a 1-run lead.
The Angels clinging to an 8-7 lead over the Tigers. Hope you stick around after this game. I'm hopeful that our Angels live post will be as wild as the game has been so far here in Detroit. I'll be joined by Jose Mota. We'll hear from Mike Scioscia. We'll also preview tomorrow night's game with Santiago and Verlander. Now, regarding these run-scoring wild pitches, it's pretty rare for the Angels. Going back to 1974, it's only happened one other time. That was in 2002. Angels scoring 3 runs on 3 wild pitches versus the Dodgers. In fact, also going back to 1974, Alfredo Simon is now only the 3rd pitcher to do it. He's going to be joined by Rob Bell and Sergio Santos. No, Mark Gubiza, you didn't make the list, buddy. You're clear. Back to you guys.
I had quite a few wild pitches. I'm surprised I'm not on that list.
Are you upset that you're not on the list?
You know what? Yes.
Now that you think about it?
Yes. At least I'll be on there for some list.
You had a chance to make history.
Yes.
Blaine Hardy takes over on the mound. 57th game for the lefty. 4-2 record facing Caleb Coward, who lines one out to center field. It's a leadoff single for Caleb. One for 2 game for Coward. A single and a walk, a sac bunt. Up steps Ryan Jackson. Jackson took over at second base in the 5th inning. Pardon me, the 4th inning. At a bunt attempt in the 5th, so he's 0 for 1. Verhagen went 2 2/3, allowed a hit, had 1 strikeout, 1 walk, no runs, and threw 2 double play balls. One off the bat of Murphy, the other one off the bat of Crone.
Hardy's fastballs, 87 to 90 range. Curveball, slider, change. Doesn't throw a ton of fastballs. It's 42% fastballs.
1 ball, no strikes. Jackson 0 for 7 now with the Angels. Fun on the first base side. Martinez fields it, applies the tag, the sacrifice, advances Coward into second base.
All done by Jackson, getting the job done. Get some high fives in that dugout.
Two man in scoring position for Cole. Cole 0 for 3. Drew a walk to start the game and scored one of the 4 runs the Angels put on the board in the first. Halos this evening 2 for 7 with men in scoring position. Breaking pitch, and he bounces this one to Martinez. 2 outs.
Interesting thing about Martinez after he flips that ball to Hardy covering, he's pointing to make sure he's aware of the runner at third base. Sometimes pitchers just forget about that and you can come all the way around and score.
Here comes Brad Ausmus with Trout coming to the plate. Alex Wilson getting ready for the Tigers, and Ausmus is going to make a move. So we have ourselves a pitching change here in the 8th inning. Angels looking for some insurance, leading at 8-7. Wilson is done with his warm-up pitches, and he'll do so with 2 outs here in the 8th inning and a man standing at third base. Mike's had a 1 for 3 games so far. Wilson pitching his 48th game, 2-3 mark, and a 1.79 earned run average.
Wilson with a fastball, 90 to 95 range, slider, cut fastball, which he throws quite a few, and a changeup. Mostly all fastballs, cut fastballs from Wilson.
Came over from the Boston Red Sox along with Cespedes in the Rick Porcello deal last December. Second round pick of Boston in 2009. Staying in on him. Wilson last year 18 games for Boston, 26 the year before. One and two. It's a pretty good slider. Coward, a leadoff single, standing at third base. Tigers in the 8th, bottom of the 8th at 9, 1 and 2 coming up.
And quite a few fastballs, and it's about one slider.
Two. There's that breaking ball again. Full count. Trout 0 for 2 in his career against Wilson. Three-two, and he struck him out. The Angels leave a man standing at third base. Well, into the bottom of the 8th inning. It's an 8-7 Halos lead. Heritage night, September the 5th. The Angels take on the Rangers at 6:05. You can buy your Filipino package online or receive a Filipino Angels hat and enjoy pregame entertainment at the Game One Music Garden. To purchase that ticket package, just go to angels.com/Filipino. Joe Smith back out on the mound facing Romine. Goes Andy Iglesias, 9-1-2 for the Tigers. Romine hit by a pitch in his last plate appearance, last batter that Jared Weaver faced. Weaver going 5 2/3 tonight, 6 runs all earned, 7 hits, one of which was the home run by McCann. Two balls to the strike.
Very important guy for Joe Smith to get out right here, the number 9 hitter, before you get to that top of the order.
Romine hits one out toward left center field, slicing away from Trout, but he'll track it down for the first out. So here goes the center fielder. 1 for 3 game. Walked his last time up. Takes down and in. Lifted down the left field line. Long run for everybody. Ibar racing over. Nobody can get there. 1-1.
When you talk about a long way for Cowart and Ibar to have to try to get there. And David Murphy also. Now he's going to play a little bit closer to the line. Murphy in left field.
Breaking ball in there, 1-2. Houston about to finish off the Yankees, still up 15-0 in the ninth. Texas leading Toronto 5-4. Kansas City leading Baltimore 3-2. This one fouled off.
The infielder Brendan Ryan went 2 shutout innings for the Yankees in that game.
It's got to be the mustache.
There's no doubt. The
Talk
power.
about a distraction. Minnesota leading the Rays 11-7. Minnesota all of a sudden playing a little bit better baseball.
It'll be 3 games over 500.
Yeah. This one down the left field line. Murphy racing over, reaches over, makes the catch. Nice play by David. Dealing with that short wall, 2 outs.
Nice job by moving closer to that line, seeing those swings for Ghost the way he was hitting the ball that way. Right to the wall with the gloves there in front. Track that into his glove. Outstanding play.
Houston Street getting ready. Iglesias, the shortstop, an 0 for 2 game. Good location, 1-2.
good miss, though.
Yeah.
Good spot. Pretty good take, though, for Iglesias not to go after, especially since the pitch before was called to be close to that same spot.
2-2 on the way. Just missed off the plate. Full count. Cabrera on deck. Cabrera with good numbers in his career against Joe. 3-2. Bounce foul into the dugout. .23 pitches thrown now by Smith. At the final out in the 7th. Got the first 2 outs here in the 8th. Ground ball toward third. Backhanded by Coward. Gets rid of it quickly. High throw. Pujols can't get the foot down quick enough. And Iglesias will reach and it'll bring up Cabrera.
Well, Iglesias got down the line quickly. It looks like that foot just on the base before Albert got his foot on the base. Although Mike Scioscia was waiting to see if that was the case or not.
Not going to argue it, but with Cabrera having hit .320 in his career against Joe Smith, including 2 home runs and 8 runs batted in, it's going to be Houston Street being called upon now to try to get a 4-out save. Scioscia's been trying to get the 4-out thing going here for the last couple of innings. It hasn't worked yet. And now it's up to Houston Street. 8-7. Angels clinging to a 1-run lead in the 8th inning. Run standing at first base, an infield single for Iglesias. Houston called upon to try to get Miguel Cabrera out and finish off this 8th inning. 49th game, a 3-2 record, 2.74 earned run average. And we mentioned the .320 batting average that Cabrera has against Joe Smith. Against Houston Street, a little different story. Cabrera 0 for 8. But with the way Cabrera's been swinging the bat, you just never know. Came in batting almost .500 over the last 10 games since coming off the disabled list. And he's 2 for 4 tonight with 3 runs batted in and 2 runs scored. One ball, no strikes. Houston pitched on Sunday, went 1 inning, gave him a run on 2 hits. He went around.
Yeah, good slider there. Went back-to-back sliders.
One time, 33,649 here tonight. Cool night. Down to 62 degrees. Teams are combined for 15 runs and 21 hits. One and two.
Oh, he painted a fastball there. Cabrera looked like he might have been looking for a slider, something off speed.
One-two offering. Cabrera pulls one to the left side. That'll sneak through for a base hit. Iglesias keeps on running to third. So the tying run now 90 feet away. The Tigers have runners at the corner for Victor Martinez.
And he went down and got a slider. Just tremendous plate coverage. Pitches below the knees. A little more of the plate than he wanted to. Pretty good base running by Iglesias to be able to get all the way around to third base on a base hit to left field.
Murphy playing deep and left. And Iglesias read that, just took the extra 90. Well, here's Victor Martinez. 2 outs, 2 on. He's 0 for 4 tonight. 3 fly ball outs and 1 ground out. Jumping on that first pitch, fouls it back. Down and away. 1 ball, 1 strike. Victor Martinez 1 for 6 in his career against Houston Street. Blocked by Perez. We've already seen a ton of wild pitches tonight. 3 by Simon, bringing in runs.
Nice job of keeping that in front of him. This time keeping that glove down, body squared up.
Two, 1 fouled off. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Iglesias, the tying run, standing over at third base, an infield base hit. Coward's throw, pulling Pujols off the bag. And then Cabrera, with Houston Street in the game, single to left. Two now. Pulled over to first. Albert's got it. He'll take it himself. And we will head to the ninth.
Squeeze that baseball into his body all the way to the base.
He wasn't going to give it up.
Nope.
8-7 Angels. And the Braves only on Fox Sports 1 is streaming live on Fox Sports Go. And that starts at 12:30 Pacific next Saturday.
David right back for the Mets, and they've been swinging the bat.
Nice job by Houston Street after giving up the single to Cabrera to get Victor Martinez to ground out. Halos here tonight face Pujols, or have Pujols, Murphy, and Ibar to face Alex Wilson. Finished off the 8th inning by striking out Trout. Albert 1 for 3. The home run back in the first inning. A 3-run shot. His 34th of the year. 74 RBIs. One away of tying Manny Ramirez for 14th all time. 554. Ground ball to the left side. Iglesias, the shortstop, has it. One down. It's 3 ground balls, I should say, to Iglesias tonight by Albert. Brings up Murphy. 2 for 4 game, a double and a single, 2 runs scored.
Well, a lot of room out in right center field for Murphy. Especially since Wilson throws a lot of cut fastballs. You can get that bat head out quickly and drive that ball to right center field and run for a while.
Two balls, no strikes. Nineteenth game with the Angels for Murphy. Caught the corner, 2-1. Him and batting .293 overall. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Both teams with 11 hits. Angels struck for 4 runs in the first inning. Tigers tied it up in the third with 4 runs. Angels then scored twice in the fourth, twice in the fifth. Take an 8-4 lead, but then Tigers started to chip away. This was out to center, playable for goes. McCann, a 2-run home run in the 6th inning, and then the run in the 7th. Making this a 1-run lead for the Angels. In the 9th inning, J.D. Martinez, Tyler Collins, and Nick Castellanos are due up. Kinsler's on the bench. If you wanted to go that route.
Certainly has had a lot of at-bats in his career versus the Angels.
2 for 10 in his career against Houston.
He's with 520 career at-bats against the Angels.
Ground ball up the middle. Iglesias has it. Little double clutch. The Angels go down in order. We hit to the bottom of the 9th inning. 8-7 Angels. Out on the mound, and it's J.D. Martinez, Tyler Collins, and Nick Castellanos, the 3 scheduled batters against the Angels closer, who has a new left fielder. Shane Victorino will patrol left field. So David Murphy's evening comes to an end. J.D. Martinez, 2 for 3 tonight with a single, a double, and a walk. He's also driven in a run. First one down and away. Jared Weaver went 5 2/3, giving up 6 runs on 7 hits. Godwin 1/3 of an inning. Salas 2/3 of an inning. Smith 1 inning. Houston Street trying to get the old 4-out save. Two-0. Looks at a strike. off the plate. It's according to Dan Iasonia.
Just a little bit off the plate on a baseball off the corner.
Popped up. Playable for Albert in foul territory. One down.
They just got him out in front enough on that slider to get him to pop that ball up to Albert Pujols. That ability to throw an off-speed pitch and a fastball count. Important for Houston Street.
Tyler Collins, an 0 for 4 game. Evens up the count. And that's pulled into right field. Cole racing over, and he'll play it on the hop. A single with one out here tonight. For a tying run on board. The winning run coming to the plate at Castellanos. Off the bat, it looked like Cole maybe had a chance at it.
Yeah, I was hoping that it would hang up just long enough for me in position to run that one down. Again, keep that in front of you, though. You still have the potential for a ground ball double play to end this game.
Castellanos tonight, a 2 for 4 game, an RBI single in the 7th. Hits this one out toward right center. Cole calling for it. 2 down. Collins back to first. Here's James McCann with 2 outs. McCann hit his 6th home run of the season, a 2-run shot in the 6th. 2-hit game for him. Halo's trying to snap a 4-game losing streak and start this long road trip on a good note. This one's out to center field. Should do it. Trout moves over, puts it away, and light that baby up as the Angels snap that 4-game losing streak. They take the first of 3 against the Tigers by the final of 8-7.
Certainly a hard-fought victory for the Halos here. 4-out save for Houston Street. Just enough offense. That 3-run home run by Albert Pujols in the first, and some outstanding defense by Albert. Trout runs that one down. Solid game by Albert. 11 hits. Eric Ibar, big game himself, as Weaver picks up the W.